Hi! So, as you might have seen already, Procreate had an update where they added some new brushes. I thought it'd be kind of fun to try them together and just see what they've got and just fill a little digital sketchbook spread with using some of the new brushes. Just try them out together. So, got my canvas open and it looks like you can choose from the classic library, which has all of my old stuff in it, or the Procreate library, and see what they've got in here. I was really interested in the, where are they, watercolor ones. When I saw them online, other people using like the watery watercolor brushes, I thought it could be kind of an interesting thing to play around with, because like I kind of love the way that's mixing with itself. And then I bet you if you go over it again, you've got, ooh, I do like that. Okay, let's pick a color. How about pink? Pink is always a good color to doodle with. Let's see. I like how it like interacts with itself once the paint is down in one stroke, and then if you go over it, it like darkens the area, you know, like watercolors do. Let's try some of these brushes. Here, actually, I have a better idea. How about we actually go in order and like kind of like swatch them, basically. Just digital swatches. Zoom in a little bit. And this one is like a lot more textured. And I'm just gonna go in order. Ooh, I really like this one. I like the paper texture that it has back there. Ooh, and this one is also, I think they're all textured. So I should stop saying that. But this one doesn't have that darker rim on it. Ooh, a little bit more diffused. This one's got a cleaner edge and a little bit lighter texture. So those are, hopefully I didn't miss any in my excitement to just kind of try them all. I think my favorite is this one. I really like this one, but which would be, I should have like wrote down what they were. I think that one was Penguin. Yeah, that one was Penguin. That's my favorite out of those, because I probably won't play with everything in here. Okay, hold on. I was just playing around to see what I wanted to try next, but look at this one. If I am light, it looks like that, and then if I get really heavy with it, it splatters it. That's kind of fun and weird and different. That's this nightjar one. Looking through, I don't think that the old brushes are sorted in this library because I don't recognize any of, I don't recognize any of the names, and I'm not spotting any of the ones I do know in here. So I think these are all new brushes. I might be wrong, but I think that they're all new. So let's look at the sketching, like the pencils, and then the inks or pens maybe. And then we can start actually like drawing something. So yeah, let's look through these pencils really fast. Just kind of seeing what I like. Seeing how I feel. That one's really textured. I'm not really super feeling any of these pencils quite yet, but I still think they're interesting. And another thing is sometimes as you are playing around a little bit more naturally and actually using stuff, you'll find stuff that you didn't think you'd like, even if you swatched it before and you didn't think you liked it. At least that's my experience. But I'm really looking forward to that bottom one. And this one at its biggest size is a lot bigger than the other ones, so I'm gonna shrink it a little just so it kind of fits. And I do kind of like this one. I like the the angle of it and the kind of squareness of it. I do like more square sketching brushes myself. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try this one. It's the stringy bark when we're sketching, and I'm gonna do pens in blue. Yeah, let's do pens in blue. And I wonder if they'll have a pen that I will like as much as the classic old shale brush that I use a lot for my line art. So, and just kind of see how these go. Ooh, that one's kind of cool. It's almost like it bleeds outward. Did you kind of see that? And I just go in the same little circle. That's kind of cool. All right. Well, this one looks kind of elegant. This one looks like you could sign your name really well with this. I don't know. I kind of like that one too. I like just the shape of it. I love a good texture like that. I love it. And the inks. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna keep in the video because it's not as exciting as the watercolor one was, but let's see. How about a green? That one's got some texture in it. Ooh, oh, that one's really soft. Interesting. Okay, so this is my swatches. Like I said, I don't know how much of that actual footage I'm gonna keep in the video or not. We'll see. I also Oh, I just want to go and test everything, but I think that would make the video way too long. Ooh. Here, look at this one. This one is kind of cool. I like that one. That is this one in the digital folder. I love this one. I think this one would be actually really pretty fun for sketching and just, I love how like smoky it is. That's this fire tail brush in charcoals. So let's start by doing a little bit of sketching. And I think I was gonna try sketching with this stringy bark. Is that what it's called? Yeah, stringy bark. And then also possibly this fire tail, which also I just like. Just kidding. I'm going to use this fire tail one. I just like it. Let's sketch some portraits, I think would be a fun way to just start, because I mean, I love portraits. So let's see how it uses as an eraser too, to see if we can't, sometimes I like to match my drawing brush and my erasing brush to the same brush so that the textures kind of are similar when I erase this hard line, because it's kind of in our way. I do really like this for sketching. I like it. I think it's fun and it's really textured, and it just has kind of a little bit more of a natural, less digital feel to it, which I really like. I like this one. This one is fun for sketching. Well, let's draw something new, actually, because I think what will look better is color over line art. So let's do that next. So let me try a different pencil just for fun, just to sketch something, and then we'll come back and do line art on top of it. Okay, so here's our next little sketch. Let me label what I used. The stringy bark. So for the line art, let's kind of just pick something I think might be kind of neat. That could be kind of cool. I feel like it would be out of my comfort zone, which I kind of like. So let's try maybe this whistler, and I am going to put a little bit of stabilization on it. Yeah, that's a little better. And we're just gonna do a little bit of line art on her and see what we think. And the other eye. I do kind of like the texture on this a lot. Put a chip in her ear. I think that would be kind of fun. And some piercings. And her horns. Okay, this brush is kind of awesome. I love the way that it looks. I think it's so fun how just textured it is and how it just kind of works with you. This is the whistler. Let me write it down as Will. And I do want to try putting a little of the watercolor under this. Let's try Penguin, because that's the one that I liked the most. And so I do want to see that one on here. And I think you do kind of have to do it, if you want it to be like flat, you have to do it in like one pass so that it doesn't have like the streaks in it, if you don't want the streaks like in a specific spot. I'm trying to go really small on that edge. So like on her horns, where I might go in with a different color, like I might go darker, maybe a little bit more blue. I can go on there and maybe try to make it look a little bit of intentional with the streaks. Or maybe what I should do is on the blending brush, I go with watercolor and then the same one and see what that looks like if I blend them like that and see how that feels. Okay, that's kind of neat. So let's kind of go into some different colors. Give her like a little bit of blush, maybe. Ooh, and see. Oh, I bet you I could also lower the opacity and see if that also helps. And then if I don't like an edge, I can use this and just kind of softly phase it out. Because I think you still want a few hard edges so that it still looks a little bit more natural. And then like, I'm curious, if you were to go on a layer behind it with a color, how might that look? So yeah, it's still pretty see-through, so you can see like the paper underneath or whatever you put underneath it. So yeah, if you go around those edges and then fill it in, I feel like it would take a bit of practice to kind of figure out how you wanted to use it in a way that worked for you, you know, just like anything else. Just a little bit of practice, but it's so fun. Let's see. Let's give her pink eyes, I think. Like, like that. And I almost wonder with the watercolor if you should kind of go on one layer, since things kind of blend together a certain way with watercolor, so it might help you think about it that way. I don't know. And I should have left this white. I'm trying to remember, because I've used watercolors before a few times. I'm not like excellent at it, but it's something I've dabbled in a little. Trying to think about my process. It's hard to apply or think about it when I'm doing digital, because like the process is so different. Trying to approach it from a traditional medium is just different. And I mean, it's not exactly the same, but I do kind of want to give her black lipstick. And I wonder if I use the lasso tool to select an area and then get rid of this little bit that I accidentally messed up. And then I go over that with it to kind of get a more specific area. That's kind of neat. Okay, this is super fun. I am on board with this all the way. Let's do more. I want to do more. Well, actually, something that I like to do with my watercolors is in really shadowy areas, I like to put a little bit of blue. Let's do that and just see how we like it. I think that's fun. I think that's way fun. Okay, let's do more. That was the penguin. I don't think I can write penguin with the penguin, but let's try. I really want to play more with the watercolor brushes, because I think they're my favorite addition to this so far. But let's do a little bit more sketching, maybe try some different sketching. And I don't want to use the same, because we already played around with the penguin. So let's try some other stuff. I'm just gonna make my canvas bigger. Oops. Because I keep drawing like way too big. Let's actually look at our pens and pencils that we already swatched and kind of pick something. I kind of want to try sketching with one of these that I didn't think I liked very much when I was just using it, because sometimes that's how you find stuff you like, is you try the stuff that you thought that you didn't. So that's 8 down. This one, I think. I can't remember if I said that I liked this one or not, but it looks different than the one that I was using before and is a little bit more, I don't know, makes me think it's a little bit more like of a darker kind of a pencil, a little bit grittier. And then I'm gonna ink it with, is this the one that I was using? Because that one really is drawing me. I think it is. Yes, it was. So let's pick a different one. Something different. How about this one? The second one? Nowhere Else? Okay, yeah, I think that's my plan. Let's try that, and then we can color it with maybe something different. Okay, my thoughts on what is it called? This brush right here. It's actually not that bad to sketch with. It's kind of forgiving and fun for really loose sketching. I like it. I'm pretty easy to please though, so. Okay, so Nowhere Else is the ink that I was gonna try. So this brush doesn't have really any, when I go as light as I can, it doesn't lighten the brush. It's only thins it out, which I think was actually the same for this brush too. But this one was easier than this one for me to work with, so. But let's keep working with it and just see. I do like when you fill a surface, how much texture there is there. I very much enjoy that texture. Let's fill in the shadow area. I love doing that under chins. I just feel like it makes the whole portrait stand out better. All right. And then I haven't decided what brush I'm going to use for coloring him in, but I think that is the liner. The liner is it's so interesting to me how different your drawing will look depending on what kind of a brush you use for line art, because I almost feel like the kind of brush that you use, especially if you're new to it, it'll kind of influence you to draw a little bit differently. And I just mean like a more textured, sketchy kind of a brush is going to give you, I don't know, it's just almost like makes you feel better about just loose strokes and like being sketchier with the actual art itself. But I'm gonna lift this up just a little. Okay, so let's think about what we want to do for the flat colors. Do we want to use a marker? Do we want, I don't know. The markers kind of scare me a little bit, if I'm honest. I feel I'm not as confident with them. We could, I haven't touched the oils at all. Oops, it'd be kind of fun to see how they decide to blend. That could be kind of fun and different. Or, well, let's actually look and see. I never really know how to use brushes like this, if I'm honest. I just haven't used them very much. Let's actually grab, goodness, a color just so that we can kind of see it with color instead. Paints. Ooh, I kind of like this one. This one is kind of interesting. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to write down what our brushes that we were using were, so let me do that. So I was using in pencils and in pens. That is right? Yes, that is right. I just didn't use black, apparently. No, that's not right, is it? It was inks. It was this one. Yes. Okay. And then oils. Was it oils or paints that we were thinking about delving into? I think it was paints. I kind of want to try this one. Let's see. What color should we make him? Because I like using fun, weird colors. Blue, maybe? Well, we already did purple, so maybe we should go on the other end. Do maybe a green, or I kind of want to do blue. Let's do blue. Oh, and I actually want to see if you can move the other color with it. Yes, I think you kind of can. Either that or it's just covering it up. It might just be covering it up, but it kind of has a more of a blending feel to it, which I think is really interesting. We grab that blue again so we don't lose it. Ooh, and it does have like that darker rim on it after you pick up your pen. Look at me not be very careful and get right outside the lines. I'm like, I'll just go back in with an eraser. Kind of ruins some of the effect though, because I think you kind of want those hard edges, but we'll make do with my laziness. Let's add a little bit of green at the bottom, maybe? No, a little bit less saturated. And maybe a little bit more purple or like true blue, indigo-y. And just kind of mix the colors a little and see how that feels to do. Not being the most careful with my coloring, but we're getting a feel. Let's pick up the original blue and go in again with it. If we can't mix it a little bit more with this purple. Again, I could totally be using all of these brushes super wrong, but you know, that's how we learn. So let's make it darker on the ends just to kind of make it stand out a little bit better against itself, like especially right here. And kind of shade things a little bit. I kind of think that would work with this. And maybe even go in with, where are we? Paints? Is it this one? Yes, okay. And just see what it looks like if you use the blending brush with it. That's kind of neat. I don't want to blend out all of the texture, but some of it is kind of nice to smooth a little. When something's bugging me just a little bit, I'm gonna, okay, we're back. What color should his hair be? These are the questions. I'm thinking dark, kind of like hers. And I'll go back and clean some of this up. Not been very clean. And that might even be a little too dark. I might lighten it just a touch, just so we can still see our line art. Sorry, I have the hiccups at the same time. Let's go kind of clean this up a little. Seeing where the watercolors, you could see the stuff underneath it a little bit better with this one. I think we might even be able to just go on this layer underneath and go right under because it's opaque. I think he has green eyes. That's kind of how I'm feeling. Or maybe yellow, greenish yellow. I kind of want to put some highlights on this. So I'm going to. Just see how it blends. I think I still have the sketch turned on. I can turn that off. I kind of like having it under there, but I might erase behind the eyes just to clear that up a little bit so it's not as foggy. Let's write the name right there. Okay, I think I'm gonna do one more, but I'm going to, in the pencils, just kind of pick a random one by closing my eyes and just swiping around and then grabbing one. There. Okay, which one is it? Ah, so this is the sketching brush that we're gonna use. It's a little sketching brush. It's as big as it goes. I didn't use that one already, did I? What was it? No, I don't think I've used that one yet. So that's the sketching brush we're gonna use. I'm gonna write it down right now. And then, should I do ink or pen? I'm gonna do pen, and we're just gonna do the same thing. And this one. We didn't do that one yet, did we? No. Okay, so I'm gonna write it down as well. That's this one. And then what should we do for the coloring? Should we have it be, ooh, hold on, let me look at this. It's like a noise brush. I'm happy about that. Okay, but we're not gonna color with that. That was just in basics. This one here, the mint brush. I kind of want to do maybe a gouache brush for our third. Okay, so let's do the same thing. And this one. Okay, so this is gonna be our coloring brush for this last one. It's similar to the other one, but it looks even more blendy. Let's grab a different color and test it. Nope, I lied. It's not more blendy. It just looks so... Why is that so satisfying to watch it just move around? This is our third brush. It is this one in the gouache folder. And we're gonna make a third character just sketching around. Alright, and I'm probably going to give her horns as well, just because we did that twice now, so we have to do it again. I kind of like this brush, or this pencil, quite a lot. I like the softness that you can get with it. What kind of horns should I give her? So we have these, we've got curly ones. What are some other options? We can give her ones that go straight up, or maybe something like that, just kind of gently curved. I think I'm going to shuffle us around a little bit just so that we can fit a little bit better on our canvas. Okay, so here's our little sketch. I really like this brush. I think it's got great range. And that was this. Now we are on to the line art. Got her nose and her mouth. And this is another pen, which is why when you draw with it, it doesn't like really lighten, it just gets thinner when you have a lighter hand. So, but it does have a really nice like textured edge that you can kind of see. This is actually a pretty good inking brush if you want like strong, clear black lines. And it still feels a little bit organic because it has a bit of shape to it and it's got that little like textured edge, but it doesn't like, it's pure black. It's not got any texture in the middle of it like this one had some of that texture in there, and this one didn't really have all that much texture in there, but this one is actually pretty similar to this one, just with a little less texture on the edges. I do like this line art brush a lot, actually. It feels really like clear. I don't know how else to say that. So the filler-in brush is going to be this Gatsby, and it is, where was it? Was it in Pass Oil Gouache? It was in gouache, yes. So I kind of feel like going a little bit warmer with her colors. And I'm curious how opaque this is, like if I go under on a different layer with a different color. Oh yeah, it's opaque. And it doesn't have like that much of an edge, so that when you go over a spot, like you can still kind of see it, but it's not that dramatic. And let's put some blush on her. Blush is always fun. And just see how that kind of blends. I wonder what this is like on the blending brush. So gouache, and then just maybe on this bottom edge, try and blend it and just see how that goes. I kind of like it. I feel like the other option would be lower the opacity of this one. And I kind of probably should have given her a gradient beforehand. Wonder if we go warmer here at the bottom. I'll have to go back in with the blush to add it back in there, but, and blush again. And let's give her a little bit of shading, just a little. And let's darken her lipstick, I think. Just a little bit, like maybe on this top lip. Maybe with a smaller brush. There we go, a little smaller. I can stay in the lines a little bit. Alright, add a little bit of whites to her eye. What color should her eyes be? So we did kind of a greenish yellow. We did like a, I think it was originally pink, but it looks purple now looking at it. I think we do like orange, like light orange. And I feel like I want to kind of, because usually with red, it's usually paired with black. And I feel like subverting my own expectation with it and giving her like light hair instead. Maybe like a light, be a little darker in shadow so we can see it a bit better. And actually, what would it look like if we made it cool toned instead of warm toned? And then lighter, darker, less saturated. And then maybe we give her kind of a gradient on her horns. I kind of want to give her like little highlights. I forgot about the gradient horns. I got distracted. Oops. I didn't mean to fill it. I meant to use this one. Okay, yeah, let's go back and forth like that. And let's add a little bit of a highlight on her horns. I feel like they'd be shiny. Okay, so here is our little sketching session with all of these different brushes. It's fun to play around with new brushes. And especially if you're kind of like afraid of one or really excited about one, totally try it out because it is fun. And maybe you might even find a brush that you love a lot, because I think I did. I was not actually expecting much from this brush, but I kind of love how smooth yet alive it feels. I don't know how else to explain that. I don't know exactly how I feel about the abalone. Is it abalone or abalone? I gotta look it up.
Abalone.
Google says abalone, but I don't know how I feel about it. It's really textured, which is kind of interesting. I feel like it might work better if you know what you're doing, which I don't. And then the penguin watercolor brush and the Whistler line art I'm kind of obsessed with. I think that's a lot of fun, and I definitely want to make some stuff with it. But yeah, this was kind of a fun update with a lot of new brushes. I think that I saw you can like make your own grouping like this, so I could go through and pick out all of my favorite brushes and have its own folder. Here, let's do it. So if I make a new library and I name it favorites, and then I've got like a whole new thing, so now I can create a new set and I can do like line art and put all of my line art brushes in this folder specifically that I like. And this one we can rename it, and it can be sketching, and put sketching brushes in here. Like I can put my brushes that I'm testing out that I'm making, and I can put them all in one folder so that I can keep them separate and just sort stuff a little bit better and keep it all in this favorites. But still I can back out and go into any of these other libraries, and just it's actually kind of great because you can sort it better. And yeah, so that was, I don't know, this was fun. I really enjoy sometimes just sketching and without like a clear idea of what exactly I'm gonna do, but just to kind of try stuff out and test different things and get a feel for just new stuff. It's just a lot of fun. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time.